Thank you for talking to us. I just want to know, what is your name and where are you coming from?
My name is Lisa, and I'm coming from Bremerton, Washington.
Okay, Lisa, what brings you out here today and what do you plan on gaining from this?
I guess I'm here because I want to show support more than just speak support in my home and with friends and neighbors. And I don't think I've ever been more ashamed to be an American than when I saw that White House press conference with Volodymyr Zelensky and what our military is doing around the world. And I think all the cuts that he's threatening to make around our nation is just going to desecrate programs and systems and people. And I have to say something to do something.
So, if you could get one takeaway from today that you'd want to pass on to all the people that are out there watching, what would that be?
Not only the people here are supporting, but the people driving by and the amount of horns that are honking and people that are waving. So even if they're not standing out here with protesting signs, people are upset about what's happening, and they're supporting us even by driving by if they're going back and forth to work or running their own errands. So I don't know. I think solidarity with other Americans who are like-minded.
Can you introduce to me who you have here on your left?
Yes, this is my husband, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, thank you for coming out today. So, once again, where are you coming from?
So I think today the emphasis is on vets. Vets keep us safe and support us, and we need to support them. And I think what's happening with the VA is despicable. So I'm here to provide my support and support for Ukraine and support for all the people who need support that are being attacked.
Now, I'm going to ask a favor of you. I see you invested into this awesome sweater. There it is. I wanted to see that. And can you just tell me about that and what it means to you?
Yeah, so the whole reason that we started this country was because we didn't like kings, and we have a king in the office. So we're against kings, we're against tyrants, and I got one on the back I'll show you as well.
All right, so thank you for talking to us. I just want to ask, what is your name and where you're coming from?
My name's Ernesto IB. We live in Yelm, but I'm originally from Miami, Florida.
That's a long way to travel. What brought you here?
I like the weather. I'm tired of the heat. After Iraq, I don't want to have anything to do with the heat anymore.
So we're going around, we're talking to a lot of different people. Everyone has their own purpose and meaning of being here today. What does being here today mean for you?
Well, my family escaped Cuba as well as my wife's, and they left a dictator. I joined as a thank you to the United States for helping my family have a new home. I served 18 years, and I refused to see my family sacrifice leaving their home country for a new country and have this one turn into the dictatorship or the tyrannical government that too many others are.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. I guess the last one I want to ask you is, what takeaway would you like the people seeing this today to bring back with them?
This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue of the Constitution and the laws of the United States. You take one person's right away, you can take other people's rights away. It doesn't matter whether they're male, female, black, white, gay, straight, trans, it doesn't matter. So we need to ensure that everyone's rights are protected. Everyone in this country, even if they're undocumented, it doesn't matter who they are. Everyone in this country must be protected by the Constitution.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you very much. Is it all right if I interview your dog?
Interview him?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right.
He's quite gentle.
Do you have anything to say, sir?
What do you think about today?
Raylan? Can he bark?
Some people get shy. Okay, so if you don't mind, I see that you're not here alone, but if you can introduce yourself and then your friend with you.
My name is Charlie, and this is my dog, Raylan.
What brings you here today?
The fact that I think our country is being destroyed by Trump and by Musk and by their minions, and particularly today because these men and women have given so much, and it's being taken away.
Are you a veteran yourself?
No, my husband is.
And is your husband here today?
No, I'm afraid not.
Understand there. If there's something that you could give as a takeaway to passersby or people that are seeing this today, what would that be?
To look around and look at how many people are here how many people have been to other marchers, to not give up hope, to stand firm, because enough people can change this, and we need to change this, because our country as we know it, if it continues, it's not going to be as we know it. So,
Well, thank you very much for sharing. Appreciate it.
sorry for the tears.
Sophie Alvarado, and I am one of the organizers of this rally. Thank you. I am a 22-year Army veteran. What? Come on louder. What? And I also was the director of your Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs up to 2023. We gathered today to express our outrage and indignation at decisions that have been made by the current administration, especially those who are eroding our benefits. Before we continue, we are going to be doing something that is absolutely necessary, especially among veterans. We have our US flag right over here. It's the highest one, and we're going to be playing the national anthem. Across the country, the seesaw of being fired and oops, we made a mistake, you can come back, is playing significant emotional havoc on our veterans and their spouses who follow them in their stations, station to station. And now, after they started their careers and many of them are settling down in their different states, they're being told, we don't need you anymore. You're not useful anymore. You're not one of the best to retain. So I'm going to tell you something very quick that happened 2 weeks ago when I was at the VA getting my annual physical at the women's clinic. There was a woman waiting in the waiting room, and she seemed to have the weight of the world on her shoulders. So in conversation, I asked her, what's going on? She said, well, I'm here because I'm not feeling well. I can't sleep. I'm having nightmares. I got a letter from the VA telling me that I'm going to have to get my disability rating reevaluated. 15 years with an 80% because of PTSD and military sexual trauma. 15 years receiving, and now she gets this letter. You can't imagine the fear and the panic this woman has because of the fact that she's going to have to retell the story that she had to tell 15 years ago. And that is not fair. So what I tell you is stay vigilant, ear to the ground, to identify this growing wave of re-evaluations that are going to hurt our veterans. And we need to make our legislators in DC fight for us, because that's going to be the only way that we're going to get attention. If they know what's happening to you, be watchful for those reevaluations. Talk to your brothers and sisters so that they just don't take the paper and have to show the evidence that they deserve the benefits that they got many years ago. We need to stay vigilant for changes in those close to us who suffer in silence because they don't want to burden us with their emotional issues. It is a scary downward spiral for many of our veterans right now just because of the environment. They need to know we have their backs and our help so that they can access on-time benefits. And there are lots of benefits in Washington State for our veterans, lots of benefits, but they need to be able to get directed to them. Programs critical to our elder veterans on fixed incomes as Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security are targets for cuts in the draconian budget just passed in the House of Representatives. They worry me, as this is my cohort, the Vietnam veteran. How many Vietnam veterans do we have in here today? Thank you for your service, because when the Vietnam veteran came home after fighting that war out there, they had to fight a fight for their benefits. And the benefits now the new veterans are getting as they get out are built on the shoulders of the Vietnam veteran. So we thank you.
Vets deserve more, not a closing door.
Our next speaker is Arthur Wright.
I was in Vietnam, got hits with shrapnel. I'm blind in my left eye, and I am getting worse. But I'm feeling better every day about being an American. There's a group of people This is me, almost 30 years ago. It wasn't no DEI. It was veterans like you and I. That said, whatever color, nationality you were, if you served, you and your family and your neighbor's family are taken care of. When we talk about veterans cuts, you can cut me. I'm half dead, almost there anyway. But you don't cut children. You don't cut health care for senior citizens. You don't take the chains off and cut the federal government. Mr. President, these are human beings. Oh, no booing. No booing. Some of y'all voted for him. Mr. President, this is our blood. This is our sweat. And we know how to sing a song. I'm an old preacher, so let me close out. My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty.
Broken promises, broken trust.
Broken promises, broken trust.
God bless you.
Hello, my name is Zella Room, and I'm here today both as a veteran and as a member of Evergreen Resistance Olympia, which is the local branch of the 5051 movement. I was a second-class petty officer in the U.S. Navy. And you're welcome. And I volunteered to speak today because I am a disabled veteran, and the ongoing cuts to the VA affect me personally. So with that in mind, I'd like to speak for a bit about why we're here today. 83,000 jobs are being cut at the VA. That's 17% of the VA's workforce. Many of the VA's employees are veterans, which means thousands of those losing their jobs are veterans themselves. But the impact of recent cuts on veterans goes even further. 30% of all federal workers are veterans. So as agencies across the federal government are facing deep cuts, our community is being hit especially hard. In addition to layoffs, VA healthcare and other critical services to veterans are going to be severely impacted by these cuts. The vast majority of VA workers are part of the Veterans Health Administration, so it's certain that these cuts will result in interruptions to veterans' healthcare services. The impacts are already being felt. Just in the last week, the Veterans Crisis Line had periods where nobody was available to take calls from veterans facing personal emergencies. In addition to these unacceptable lapses in service, Crisis Line operators are warning now that future interruptions to the service are inevitable because of recent layoffs among their staff. Finally, hundreds of VA researchers are losing their jobs, which will further impact research that is crucial to improving services for those most vulnerable among us. There have been multiple times in American history that veterans have had to advocate for ourselves and each other, but one in particular I'd like to mention today is the bonus army. In 1932, during the Great Depression, the federal government refused to pay World War I veterans service bonuses that they tried to collect. This was a certificate guaranteeing payment of an earned entitlement that they were owed for their service. In response to this, 100,000 veterans and their supporters formed the so-called Bonus Army and marched to Washington, D.C. to demand immediate payment. Yeah, 100,000. They were denied payment and they refused to leave until they were forcibly removed. The protest and the controversy sparked by the response to it greatly weakened President Hoover's re-election campaign and built popular support for the GI Bill that has benefited all of us in one way or another ever since. One lesson we can take from this history is that when veterans raise our voices to demand the benefits that we are owed, we can create major changes in this country. When we stand up for ourselves and our communities, we win. Thank you.
This is going to be a technical difficulty all day. I can see it happening. Disservice to our service. Disservice to our service. Service to our service. Service to our service. Service to our service.
Disservice to our service.
Well, not only am I up here chanting and getting the motivation and blood going, I'm actually your next speaker. How awesome is that? So, Sean Durnan, U.S. Army veteran, like many of you, right? Right? But hey, really quick, where's our devil dogs at today, too? Sailors? Sailors? Any? Coast Guard? Air Force is somewhere around. Fair enough. Fair enough. God bless all of you to be out here today. We know this is problematic. We know there's issue after issue. So like many of you, I represent organizations across the state. I'm also the president of my own nonprofit organization. Many of you are familiar with Nine Line Veteran Services. Just thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Just in the last 30 days, we've seen a 10% uptake, not only in service calls from VA employees laid off or let go altogether. We've seen a 20% uptake in suicidal ideation. Because, as previously stated, we have veterans who can't even get through on the crisis line. Now, I don't know about you, but I raised my hand. I said I would defend this nation. Right? I could not be happier that they are all here right now. But that's what we're facing. The reality of it is, in less than 30 days, we've seen these horrible things happen. And it's not just happening here in Olympia, Thurston, Pierce, King, Snohomish, all the way out to our friends out in Island County. We're seeing it nationwide. This is affecting all of us. The reduction of force is something we faced before. And not only as a veteran, but the son of a grandson of a World War II veteran, the nephew of a Vietnam veteran, and then my brother and I serving in Iraq. My service demands more. Every one of your services demands more. So we're not going to let some crazy ass clown out in D.C. and his Fox News reporter, I saw the sign, where is it? There it is. Yeah, why is the guy from Fox News running our military? This is not something to be made fun of. This is not a mockery. You served, you earned these benefits. The VA is making that positive change. These are individuals who are in charge of our care. I don't know if you guys all realize it, right? Hey. I don't know if you guys realize it. The CT scan wouldn't exist. The pacemaker wouldn't exist. So when we talk about and we advocate for VA care, when we advocate for VA studies, when we advocate for support services, it's not just our care. It's the care of our country. It's the care of our people, your children, your grandchildren, your families. So I say again, as someone whose history, bloodline, and background is embedded in military service, God bless all of you. And do not let this man ruin what you have all worked so hard for.
Hey, first of all, I want to thank you all for being out here today. I'm sorry for the reason that we're here, but God, it's good to see so many people out here, so many veterans and families and people who care for veterans, right? Because they're important, yeah? Yeah, they are important. I've served, like you veterans who have served, and we all signed a check. It was a blank check. And it was a blank check that said up to and including my life for my country. I love my country, like you love this country. And I was thankful to have the opportunity to serve. But the other part of that contract was the country's contract to you. And now the rules have changed. They want to renegotiate this contract with you. They don't necessarily want you to have the care that you had before because we're saving money, right? On your backs, on my back. We're saving money. That doesn't sound fair. It's not the contract that I signed. It's not the contract that you signed. It's hard right now. And like the folks have said earlier, as we grow older, because we all grow older, these things that we've acquired, these service-connected disabilities and things, are not going to get better. They're going to get worse. We're going to need more. But they're not willing to support us at this point. They want to fire veterans. They want to diminish the services that you receive, all to save a buck. Do we believe that? Because where does that dollar go? It goes to the billionaires and the millionaires and everyone else who isn't us. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not the contract that I signed. It's not the contract that you signed. And it's not fair to us as people who have served and earned that. So thank you. Thank you, Alfie, for putting this together. God bless you. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, support crew. What wonderful people. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Gary Ulett from Music Work for Veterans. It is a great organization. He's going to tell you a little bit about it because we all need a little something to be able to keep our spirits up.
Wow. Gary Willett, 33 years in the United States Army. I took a month off and went back to work as a civilian for the WTV, the Warrior Transition Battalion on Fort Lewis, helping sick and injured soldiers. We're always going to have sick and injured soldiers. This is traumatic, what's happening. Traumatic. And not all of us can handle it. So I want you to look around, the people that's in your circles, talk to them and ask them how they're doing. Because they might not be doing very well at all. We have to muster through this. It'll be better when this is over. But right now it's not over. And look at how many people are here. This is America. We love America. We serve for America. Elvis said I'm going to talk about the thing I'm involved in. I'm in a music group for healing, a healing music group. Music heals. I love you all.
No cuts. No way.
No way.
Support vets every day.
Support vets every day.
No cuts, no way. Support vets every day. No cuts, no way. Support vets every day.
Hello, my name is Lisa Ornstein. I'm a co-founder of Olympia Indivisible, the proud daughter of a veteran who served in World War II. So the QR code that I am wearing around my neck, my new necklace, is a call to action to get in touch with our senators. Right now, there is a continuing resolution on the Senate floor, and if it passes, it is going to gut funding for veteran services and benefits. It will cut Department of Veterans Affairs funds meant to cover costs for illnesses linked to military burn pits and other chemical exposure. So this 6-month government spending package, which largely holds federal spending at fiscal year 2024 levels, will cut the Toxic Exposures Fund, TEF, for the VA next year. That fund was meant to allocate $22.8 billion to cover expanded benefits for former service members sickened by military toxic exposures, including burn pit smoke and Agent Orange water contamination starting October 2025. But the continuing resolution drafted and passed by House Republicans zeroes out funding that would have been used for TEF in the fall. And it also slashes funding for the construction of VA hospitals. I want you to know that the Washington Democratic congressional representatives, all of them, stood united in opposition to this and voted against the House bill. And I am sorry to say that Representatives Baumgardner and Representative Newhouse voted to approve. I also want you to know that our two senators, Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell, oppose this partisan bill that writes Trump and Musk a blank check, shortchanges families and America's futures, devastates our nation's capital, and painfully slashes critical domestic priorities like life-saving research in medicine and veterans services and benefits and much more. We have much to thank for our senators standing with us. Let's give them a hand.
And please contact your Congress members, your senators, to make sure that they hear your voice, because there's strength in numbers. Thank you very much for being here.
All right, so folks, thank you for talking. I just want to ask you what both of your names are.
Kelly.
Carl.
Kelly and Carl, where are you guys coming from today?
We're here from Kirkland, but we're a retired military family, so we're kind of from all over.
And so, Carl, I hear you're retired, correct?
Yeah, 25 years active duty and 10 years federal civilian service.
Looking around, there's a lot of folks here today, and a lot of them are just passersby in their vehicles. Some people don't even know what's going on. What brought you guys here today?
Well, the fact that they're taking away the services that they promised our veterans, and we're also here because we have a trans daughter, and they are taking away her rights, and we're here just to say it's not right. It's not right, and we're not okay with it.
We're just tired of people not paying attention. It's our family and friends, and many of them are just not paying attention because it doesn't affect them. They're not paying attention, and that's what we want today, to stand here and honk our horns and yell at people and say, pay attention. It's time. Yeah. It's way past time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The fact that people aren't paying attention is super scary, and they have to be paying attention right now. So.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us today. I hope you both have a lovely day. So thank you for talking to us. I just want to ask, what is your name?
My name is Flora Estrada.
What brings you here today, Flora?
You know, I heard about the event of coming together to support our veterans. As a veteran myself, just want to be in community. Honestly, recognizing what is happening in our country and making sure that the benefits of our veterans, all veterans, every single person deserve, is now in the chopping block, because we want to do something different, right? Like, we made a promise to our veterans to serve them after they serve for us. So I think it's important for me to show up.
So you heard about the event, you showed up here. Where are you coming from today?
I actually live in Olympia, so I'm from the area. We're here in Olympia, the capital, and I've been here for almost 10 years.
Everybody came here for different reasons. You just shared a little bit about it. What is it that people on the outside that aren't here today need to know? What do you want to share with them?
I want to share as a veteran, I stand for our democracy. I stand for defending our Constitution. And it seems that some of our actions as a country has forgotten about what is the principles about our Constitution. And standing for democracy for all people is a principle that we live in the United States for, and not forgetting to serve our veterans, like they put their life on the line, as well as many of them that we lost during the wars.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks, thank you for talking. I just want to ask, what are both of your names?
Hi, my name is Jules Carey. I'm a retired Coast Guard. Hi, I'm Nancy Monahan, and I'm also a retired Coast Guard.
Okay, thank you both for meeting with me and talking. So we just had a great conversation here about an amazing opportunity for a lot of service members in the community that they're probably not even aware of, to include myself. What is this?
As I mentioned before, the organization is called AVER. It's American Veterans for Equal Rights, and is the nation's oldest LGBTQ veteran service organization. We're chapter-based. You can find us online, aver.us, and we work with a lot of the other VSOs like MMA, Sparta, which are all LGBTQ organizations for the military and for veterans.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I've got one more question. You've got this QR code here on your chest, and this has been brought up earlier. Can you just share one more time with everybody out there what this is?
This QR code that I'm wearing that Alfie gave me, basically it takes you to a website where you can contact your representative to let them know how you feel about cutting the VA and cutting services to the veterans.